r/ask Reddit. What's a very disturbing fact almost nobody knows? Organophosphates, including the chemical weapon sarin gas, work by inhibiting your muscles' ability to relax. Your muscles basically constrict and can't unconstrict, causing what feels like a muscle cramp through your entire body, your arms, your chest, your eyes, your tongue, everything. It most frequently kills via asphyxiation, because you can't exhale. Surviving means a permanent, irrecoverable loss of motor function, even with rapid medical treatment. Also originally discovered while chemists were trying to make a more effective insecticide. I'd say they succeeded. According to the FBI, over 40% of murders go unsolved, meaning if you get killed, there's a pretty good chance the person who killed you will not spend a day in jail. Bad news for you, good news for me. A toddler's adult teeth are right below their eyes. I just looked up a picture of a toddler's skull and all I got to say is what the actual duck. The Romans used to torture people by having goats lick their feet. Goats like salt, so they would soak their feet in salt water. Eventually the goat's tongue was rough enough that the skin would wear away. Then you'd have a wound with salt trickling in. At first I thought you meant that they would soak the goat's feet in salt water. One of the first symptoms of heart disease can be sudden death. It's funny, because it can also be one of the last symptoms. Yep, the symptoms will last for the rest of your life. The dolphin who played Flipper committed suicide. There are 8 nukes that are missing all around the world. A vitamin D deficiency can make you suicidal, and deficiencies among adults is very common, like more than 50% of the population in the US. My vitamin D number was single digit when I went to see my doctor because I felt depressed. I now take a big weekly dose along with diet change and sunlight to feel normal. If I hadn't gone to the doctor when I did, I might not have been able to face another winter. Mine too. My doctor was shocked and said it was the lowest he'd ever seen. It's crazy how much it makes a difference mentally. Approximately 2,100 children are reported missing every day in the US, or 1 every 41 seconds. On the bright side, most will be returned unharmed. On the bleak side, the survival rate very rapidly declines over time. On the even bleaker side, in the cases of missing young adult men in the US, there's fair chance a missing individual will be ruled deceased after a rather short search with minimal evidence. Even if no body is found, generally it's labeled as deceased due to natural causes. That is, drowning in any nearby source of water, getting lost in any nearby woods, just getting lost anywhere and dying, after which the search is completely abandoned. When a woman with breast implants is cremated, the implants will melt into goo. It drips to the bottom of the furnace and needs to be cleaned up once cooled. I wonder now, what happens to metal rod implants, pacemakers, etc.? Pacemakers have to be removed and metal implants just stay in and get tossed after. In 1977, the average life expectancy in Cambodia was 18.91 years. That's because the Khmer Rouge killed anyone who wore glasses, because that meant they knew how to read and therefore were a bad intellectual. At any moment a nearby star could possibly become a gamma ray burster and point a jet of radiation at the Earth that would vaporize us instantly. Math says a gamma ray burster located 100 light years away that aimed at us directly would generate the energy of 100 Hiroshima bombs per square mile across the entire exposed surface of the Earth. Anything caught in this blast directly would be vaporized instantly. It would also instantly boil the oceans and rip the atmosphere off the planet. It would end all life and leave the Earth a charred cinder in space. And it is 100% impossible to see one coming, since it's moving at the speed of light, because gamma rays are light. On average, 30 people die in the US annually in elevator-related incidents. This is my worst nightmare. Non-avian dinosaurs did not go extinct immediately at the asteroid strike. There would have been a period when the survivors kept on, slowly declining in number, starving to death before being able to mate and produce offspring. Owls can't be choked, which means that someone had to try and choke an owl on more than one occasion and fail. Yes, harder. My local Benahena removed their glory hole and everybody I've talked to about it is pretending that it never existed. The weirdest part is that the next closest Benahena still has their glory hole, so it's clearly not a corporate decision. There is so much WTF in this statement I don't even know where to start. I love that you say the next closest Benahena still has their glory hole, as though 1. It's natural to expect more than one ducking Benahena in a metropolitan area, and 2. Glory holes are just a thing Benahenas have. Bayer, the pharmaceutical company, used to be called IG Farben, and were the ones who produced the Zyklon B chemical the Nazi used in the gas chambers of the concentration camps. I've said it on here before, but it still disturbs me to think about. Moray eels have a second set of jaws and teeth inside their throat. They latch onto prey with their primary jaws, and then the second set can move forward and either latch on and pull the prey down their throat or eat away at larger prey without having to let go. Creepy as duck. Bedbugs have a needle for a dong and stab the female since females don't have a hole. Imagine getting stabbed during sex. If you get bitten by a human, you absolutely have to go to the hospital right away because the amount of deadly bacteria in any given person's mouth could actually kill you if it enters your bloodstream. If a human bites your dog, be careful. Every full moon he will put on clothes, try to barbecue, and complain about taxes. There's over 200 dead bodies on Mt Everest, and they are used as waypoints for other climbers. I'm late, but the average adult male has a biting force high enough to rip someone's throat out with their teeth. Found Rick Grimes. I think it might be a decently common fact, but it disturbs me so much that I'm gonna say it anyway. Less than 5% of the ocean has been explored by humans. That there's people out there who get aroused by the thought of being or actually being furniture. There are people out there now being held captive somewhere, whether it's for sex, ransom, or simply because their captor is batshit crazy. As recently as the early 1800s, people ate parts of corpses, believing them to have medicinal properties. Blood, power ground up from the human skull, and human fat were all thought to be cures for various ailments. Arguably, it still goes on today, with the practice of consuming placenta for its dubious health benefits. There was a fad for eating mummies. It turns out that there's a limited supply of mummies, so people started making mummies for other people to eat. There is a type of mushroom that can grow on small bugs and control them. Cordyceps. It has hundreds of strains, including ones that can hijack ants, small spiders, and even tarantulas. If it's any consolation, mammal bodies are far too hostile for cordyceps to survive in. Although most insects and other non-mammalian smaller animals are vulnerable to cordyceps, although it would have to have an adapted strain to be able to incubate in its non-native animal of choice. One of the princesses of Ukraine like to push in the soft spots on babies' heads. When your dog chews a squeaky toy and plays with it, they enjoy because it reminds them of killing a small animal. There is a slight chance that the universe ceases to exist in the next moment, anytime. There's 21 to 46 million slaves living right now. Turkeys love the taste of their own kind so much that they will cannibalize themselves while they are still alive. They're the cinnamon toast crunch squares of the meat world. If pigs get fed meat, they start to cannibalize and eat each other. Had to harvest them early 1 year because of it. The sun dies in about 5 billion years, but Earth will be habitable for only another 500 million years because the sun's luminosity increases gradually, turning the planet into a dead, scorching rock relatively soon. There's a species of spider that can swim. There's a species of spider that rolls itself into a ball and goes around the desert like a tumbleweed. Up until the 1800s, dentures were usually made out of dead soldiers' teeth. Ants farm aphids like we farm cows. They protect them from predators and then eat a few every now and then. Rats can fit anywhere their head can fit through. The rest of their body is collapsible and they have sort of hinged ribcages. Hidden Valley Ranch is owned by Clorox. There's a type of planet called rogue planets that follow no orbit, so it is entirely possible that we have a Jupiter-sized ocean hurtling through space at 40x the speed of sound, and we will likely never see one. The United States accidentally dropped a nuke in North Carolina and it was found hanging on a tree, luckily not detonated. Diamonds are extremely common. Just every diamond mine known to man is privately owned, and they keep them in vaults and only let small amounts out at a time. The only thing preventing life on Earth from being eradicated by high energy particles is the Van Allen radiation belt and our atmosphere. Bodies decompose 4x faster in water than normally. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.